G'day guys, and today I'm going to do a video on the West Coast Eagles and pick their best player of the decade. This was tough. I went right down to the wire and still not 100% sure how it sort of looks, but I went for a draw. Then I, based purely on numbers and resumes, I've picked that player. So there were a few to choose from, obviously. And the player I've picked goes to Josh Kennedy. The West Coast Josh Kennedy and the Sydney Josh Kennedy becomes the best players of the decades for their clubs. So Josh Kennedy for the Eagles played nearly 250 games, over 600 goals. That's pretty much nearly 3 goals a game. He's been awesome full forward, been one of the best, probably top 2, top 3 best key forwards of the modern era, has to be said, in the 2010s. We'll go through his resume right here. So he's won a premiership at long last, 2018. He's a 6-time leading goal kicker in all those seasons over this decade. He's won the Coleman Medal twice. He's won the 3-time All-Australian as well. And also won a few best on grounds in the derbies, or the derbies if you want to call them that. And he was captain in 2014 for the Eagles. And he leads the West Coast all-time goal-kicking leader. So I had Nick Nat up in the category as well, because he's been a once-in-a-generation ruckman. Obviously, he doesn't get a lot on paper, but the influence from when you see him play is enormous. We know his ruck craft is unbelievable. His goal-kicking now is pretty handy as well. As you can see, over 100 goals in 166 games, but he has had a lot of injury, which put him down the list. And reality, looking at that and on paper, he's one of their all-time greats. Pretty good trade from Carlton. I think when you win a premiership and you trade a player, it's hard to say, and obviously Kennedy being a big part of that premiership, it's hard to say that they didn't win the trade. So Eagles will be happy with that. So I'll pick Josh Kennedy, guys. Pretty happy with that choice, actually. Obviously Shuey and Yo and all these players have had some really good years over the last few years, becoming elite. But Kennedy's has been good all the time over the last 10 years. McGovern, obviously, over the last 5 has been really good. Hearn's been awesome since starting off, and Darling's become really good. And so there's a lot of players, and again, that's why they're a really good side as well. So it makes plenty of sense there. So that's it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and chuck in the comments who you think has been the best player for the Eagles over the last decade. Dean Cox wouldn't be far off, but I think he probably did a lot of his damage beforehand, and probably, I feel like he finished up 2013, 2014. So there you go, guys. That's it from me. Subscribe, like the video. Really appreciate your time, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.